I would tell you remote monitoring, what allows me to be here and away from my office for 12 days while I don't have one iota of sweat on my brow over this, is because my patients are being remote monitored. And I'm doing more production today, 2 years later, using now 4 assistants than what I did 2 years ago with 7 assistants, solely because of remote monitoring. Hey everybody, Dr. Lane Krieger here with another episode of the OrthoPreneurs podcast, and I'm sitting here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may notice the sound isn't so great if you're just listening, but I'm here in the Maldives. Just came from Dubai, then the Maldives, had a dream trip with a bunch of orthodontist friends of mine from OrthoPreneurs RD. We do one Lux trip a year among the other 4 to 6 meetings we do a year with CE and stuff. This one, Maldives and Dubai, you can't beat it. If you're looking, you should watch this on video and see the water behind me. It's amazing. But I want to talk to you about staffing. Because it's a big topic we've been talking about here about teams. It's a big topic on OrthoPreneurs. I've talked about this, and I'm going to keep talking about this because the economists are now coming out saying that our economy is not going into a recession. Most are saying that we're coming out of it or whatever was going on, and that we're starting to head towards some sort of recovery or getting things better. If you hear a bird behind me, he's going to be my dinner later today. And I think he heard me, and he's mocking me. But we're talking about short staffing and all the other problems that go along with it. And I want to talk to you about remote monitoring because we've talked about this. And don't turn this off. I want you to hear this. There's an argument out there about capacity, that you use remote monitoring of some sort because you'll build your capacity. And for 99.9% of us, that's a moot argument. Right? You can re-engineer your schedule to make it better. You can get more team members. You can build more chairs. You can always add more capacity, right? You can get an associate. All of this, a lot of reasons I talked about why you may not want to do that right away. But I would tell you remote monitoring, what allows me to be here and away from my office for 12 days while I don't have one iota of sweat on my brow over this, is because my patients are being remote monitored. And I'm doing more production today, 2 years later, using now 4 assistants than what I did 2 years ago with 7 assistants, solely because of remote monitoring. If you take an average assistant in the Dallas area who makes $25 an hour, right? That's $1,000 a week. That's $50,000 a year. So I have 3 less assistants. It's $150,000 I've saved on my books. And I want you to overspend. I want you to go crazy. I want you to have 1,000 patients in your practice that you're doing remote monitoring on. Okay? You got 1,000 patients you're remote monitoring, and your costs are $100,000 a year. I've saved $50,000 a year because I have 3 less team members. I have way less drama. My days went from 75 to 80 patients a day to about 50 patients a day. I can take over way more days. My patients are now being seen every week with their scan. They're being monitored for home care, and I've got documentation of it top to bottom, in writing and in photos. They use it as a dashboard to communicate with us on a regular basis, and that's why I created Remote Response, because now my dashboard monitoring is being done by the company I created, which is available to you as well, which means my team teaches people how to scan, and they schedule patients. And literally probably 97% of everything in between is done by Remote Response. So yeah, you spend $100,000 on remote monitoring and remote response per year, and you save $150,000 on your team, and you have less stress, less drama, less patients per day, more time off with the people you love, doing the things you want to do. Why are you not doing this? Don't give me the BS excuse you don't want to spend the money. We are all, and if you're not, it's rare. We are almost all working with less team members than we should have, who are getting burnt out, stressed out. We are stressed out in our practices. Consider implementing remote monitoring. Consider implementing remote response. If you're not even a user of remote monitoring and you bring remote response in at the beginning, we'll help set up your dashboard so it becomes easier, simpler, and better off. But again, the capacity issue, remote monitoring gives you better capacity. Yeah, that's great for like less than 0.1% of orthodontists out there. But the story about reducing your stress, not being as dependent on labor, which is going to get worse, I'm telling you now, DM me, hit me up on Facebook, reach out to me at Glenn, Glenn, at remoteresponse.com. Send me a message. Go to remoteresponse.com and just simply click the more information form. And I promise you, if you implement, and it's guaranteed, right? I'm guaranteeing everything, but I'm promising you that if you bring remote monitoring into your practice, if you bring in remote response to manage your remote monitoring dashboard, your life will not change in any negative way. You will make more money over the long term, take home, right? You may not gross more, but you should take home more because you work on a smaller team, and your team will be so thankful that they don't have to deal with this stuff. How do I know? Because all the offices we work with have said the same thing. And then, of course, I guarantee it. If you're not remote, completely happy, we stop monitoring for you. But knock on wood, it's never happened yet. And number two, we sign month-to-month contracts. You don't have to do a long year-long contract. So again, if you're unhappy, we're unhappy. We want to make it right. And if we can't, walk away. But like I said, it's so good, nobody's walked away yet. And it's changing practices. We have people who are going to quit remote monitoring. We're now continuing to do it because they love what we've done with remote response. Do it. Take the plunge. I promise you, 2 years from now, you will look back on your life and wonder how you ever worked the way you did. And remember, the most vocal critics of remote monitoring, the loudest voices in the room, are the people who've never done it in any significant way in their practice. Like everything else, the people who want to talk the loudest are the ones who've got the most opinionated opinion, are the ones who've never done it. So I would never go back. Everybody in remote response who's been using it would never go back. And I hope you become one of those people. Wishing you a great day. Reach out to me anytime you need me, and just take care.